According to the United Nations Convention and Protocol relating to the status of refugees, a refugee is someone who is outside their own country and cannot return due to well-founded fear of persecution because of their race, religion, nationality, membership of a particular social group, and a political opinion. Seeking asylum is legal regardless of how you arrive. It's a basic human right under the UN Refugee Convention that Australia is signed to, but sometimes doesn't follow. In fact, the Australian Press Council has said that calling asylum seekers illegal immigrants is a breach of the Council's standards of practice because it is simply not true. The term was made up, perpetrated by our politicians.
This body is yours, this body is yours and mine. Well, hold on, my darling, this mess was yours, now your mess is mine. Walking round at 8 a.m. I got 2 hours before my flight. Luck be on my side tonight. You're the reason that I feel so strong, the reason that I'm hanging on. You know you gave me all the time. Well, did I give enough of mine? This body is yours, this body is yours and mine. Well, hold on, my darling, this mess was yours, now your mess is mine.
China, a country hardly renowned for its human rights record, is characterising us for our treatment of asylum seekers. We congratulate ourselves for being a friendly country at the same time as we subject asylum seekers to indefinite detainment, deportation and abuse. We fret about being flooded by refugees and yet take a mere 1.47% of the world's asylum seekers. We have an annual quota of 13,750 places for refugees, which is negligible when comparing countries around the world.
Italy has not been particularly admirable when it comes to refugees. Like Australia, the government has pursued a policy of turning back the boats. There have been uprisings at immigration and detention centres, and they suffer discrimination in the labour market. And yet, with all its shortcomings, Italy is still better than Australia. Where our Immigration Act is constantly being amended to deny asylum seekers' rights, Italy's constitution provides a degree of security. It guarantees refugees freedom of internal movement, foreign travel and immigration. Where Australia is secretive about what goes on in refugee camps, Italy cooperates with the UN and other humanitarian groups. The government provides protection against the return of refugees to countries where their lives would be threatened, and it offers temporary protection to those who don't make refugee status. Although they are not perfect, they are still better than Australia.
Morning, Flynn.
Good morning, how are you?
Great.
Thanks for coming. What's your view towards the ethical debate on asylum seekers that they are treated poorly?
Well, I think that they are treated in line with the United Nations Programme of Action document, which I could actually refer to, but I won't, which states that they are entitled to education, healthcare, and use of communication tools, etc. Now, I don't agree that they should be in detention centres. I think that they should probably be able to seek to be monitored within the community and show that they're worthwhile members of our society.
So what impact do you think asylum seekers have on Australia?
I think the impact of asylum seekers is the same as all migrants. Question for you, Flynn. What percentage of Australians are born overseas?
Good question.
Have a guess. This will make riveting TV.
20%.
That's a really good guess, and most Australians get it wrong. It's actually 27%, which has grown from 9% in 1948. So we are a country of migrants, and I think that migrants have an awful lot to offer. So I find it I'm a little bit at odds with people who say that they don't really want refugees or asylum seekers. Personally, if we were to let in the new Syrian people as refugees, they'll be refugees, they won't be asylum seekers. Because you seek asylum in your first country and you go to. So the Australian government's come out this morning and said that we will take 20,000 over the next 5 years from Turkey and Lebanon, so from neighbouring countries. They'll be refugees, and I think that they'll bring an incredible zest to the Australian community.
So do you think the treatment of asylum seekers should be a higher priority to the Australian government to what is already?
I don't think the Australian government cares. I don't think there's any votes in asylum seekers. So, recently they've been let out of jail a little bit because the new government's rules in terms of asylum seekers has resulted in a lack of flow of asylum seekers to Australia. So it's gone off the boil a bit in terms of an election issue. I think the bigger issue is probably how many refugees / asylum seekers we take a year. Can you give me an indication of what figure do you think would be a fair figure to let in per year?
I reckon maybe 13,000.
13,000 is the current figure, that's the allowance, which is really good. And the argument could be we could take more than 13,000. I'd like to have that argument.
Yeah.
And maybe 20,000 might be okay. I don't know.
Yeah.
Oh, let's